Yeah. I don't know whether we'll be able to crown someone as the main queen by the end of this conversation, but let's try. So let's go through a few of the ladies who are being very successful. Megan Moroney, let's start with her first. Cloud Nine, it debuted at number one. She led the nominations at the ACMs with nine. What's Megan? Like, where is Megan on the list of country queens? Is she the top?
I feel like she's definitely up there. The thing with Megan is she's had a very fast rise to fame, I feel, compared to like an Ella Langley who's been around. Same with Lainey Wilson. Like they're more the definition of a 10-year town kind of artist, where I feel like Megan, from her debut, Tennessee Orange, it like skyrocketed her. And I feel like with Megan, fans really connected with her immediately, and she's deeply in with that like Gen Z, young millennial listeners who are the type of fans that are like building a community around you. They're not just listening to your music, they're buying your merch, they're buying your tickets, they're posting TikToks to your songs. So I feel like she's really benefited from the social media, TikTok, and just building a really strong, passionate community that people have really connected with.
Right. And although she led with 9 ACMs, she walked away with none. What do you make of that?
I mean, award shows are award shows. Like, I feel like it doesn't necessarily determine your success, or obviously it's nice if she were to be there and win all 9 or at least a few. I'm sure that would have been great for her, but I also don't think it's something that defines you.
Right. Okay. All right.
And like leading the noms is still
impressive,
amazing.
right? It's 9 more nominations than I have, so I'll take
Exactly.
it. We have to talk about Ella. Obviously, you mentioned like for some people it seemed like Ella came out of nowhere, but for those who don't know her, can you sort of set up like what her story is and where she came from?
Yeah, like Ella has been around for years. I remember her song would come on years ago and I would be like, she's great, but she wasn't connecting with fans, unfortunately, the way she is now. And obviously You Look Like You Love Me was the song that really gained her all the attention, and I think that's when people really recognize like her authenticity and her personality. She's also not the type of person who, I mean, watching her on stage, she's more like rebellious, traditional country. She's like country meets rock. She also really attracts the male audience, which I feel is rare for not rare, but like not as common for a female artist to have such a big male fan base. And she's a little less polished than like a pop Megan Moroney, and more like outlaw country influences, old school country. Right. But as for why, it's like it's hard to say. I feel like it's like Lainey Wilson. It took her a long time to get to where she is, and I feel like obviously with the times changing, with more females, breaking records and becoming more successful, I think timing is everything. And like maybe 10 years ago was not her time, but now it's when country music is finally accepting this kind of music and authenticity again.
Yeah. It's amazing because Dandelion, like Cloud9, also went number 1 in the Billboard charts. Ella is the first, I think, country female artist in like 67 years to have number 1 and number 2 on the Hot 100. She also has Choosing Texas, I think, has been the 5th longest running country number 1 hit of all time. So she has all these things going to her, and she feels like she has this momentum of like, this is really going to be her year. And I know you said, award shows don't always mean everything, but she did have a much more successful award show run than what Megan did. Do you think do you think she is the one that people should be looking to top right now?
Yeah, I would say so. For sure. Like just the records alone that she's breaking that you just mentioned. And it's like even her new album, personally, I'm like, every song is a banger.
It is.
Like there's no skips. And it does seem that she's very respected in the country music industry right now. Like even doing collabs with like an artist like Morgan Wallen, that's huge for her. Whereas 5 years ago, like she wasn't really on anyone's playlist of thing. So to see that, massive jump, and to see other artists jump on board, and like obviously the Riley Green collabs have been um a huge gain for her. So
Mhm.
I definitely think with the stats alone and just kind of the last year to
Mhm.
see what she's done in a year, it's definitely she's the one to top.
Right. I hate to say this artist is a dark horse, but I feel like Casey Musgraves is a dark horse right now. She also released an album this year, Middle of Nowhere. She doesn't sell as well as the first two, but I feel like she has more name recognition and probably has more sort of outside the country world
Mhm.
recognition. Tell me about Casey and what do you think of Middle of Nowhere and where do you think she's gonna go this year?
Yeah, I feel like Middle of Nowhere didn't have the as big of a like momentum moment as I thought it would the second
Hmm.
it dropped.
Hmm.
Maybe it's gonna take a second to get there, but obviously Dry Spell, when that came out, that
Yeah.
was like a huge like a comeback song.
Yeah.
And she's always been known for like her songwriting and her lyric and being more in that singer-songwriter angle and kind of challenging traditional country music norms, even with like the
Hmm.
LGBTQ stuff several years ago. And obviously Dry Spell are like lyrics that would never be sung in country music before. So I feel like she built success through like her songwriting and just that capability. And then obviously branching out, she won a
Right.
Grammy for Album of the Year. Or was it Country Album of the Year? Probably Country
In
Album of the
country,
Year.
yeah.
Um, but I think she's been that artist risk taker, but still not like I don't think her tours have been as successful as some of
Right.
these other artists,
Right.
which is unfortunate because I would love to see Casey Musgrave. But she's also kind of disappeared for the past few
Mm,
years as well.
yeah.
And I think she's kind of been figuring out what she wants to do and how she kind of wanted to come back. So I hope that this tour that she's going to be doing will
Mhm.
kind of bring that back for her.
Yeah, I think Middle of Nowhere is good, but I don't think it's great.
Mhm.
I think but the thing with Casey is her fans are diehard, like,
Yeah.
they will, go to the well for her, and, like, I also feel like with Deeper Well, it didn't have the great, start, but now people are, considering it such a great album, so I think Casey is more of a long game than maybe the other 2, but I do think,
Yeah.
you know especially when we look back, like Golden Hour is so well recognized as such an important album, both in country and just music world in general. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. What about Lainey Wilson? I feel like she's kind of disappeared, and then she was like on everyone's mouth last year.
That's the thing, like you were just saying, like thinking of if I was an artist, would I rather be on like a Ella Langley
Hmm.
like journey right now or a Casey where you're like steady, but you're there and you're still, going on tours,
Right.
selling albums, but also not being shoved down everyone's
Yeah.
throat and like
Yeah.
people getting sick of you after a year. Lainey, I feel like is still very much there, and she's still like I guess Whirlwind probably came out now about a year or two ago.
Mhm.
So, but she's still steadily releasing new music, and I think I watched her documentary. And I think she's almost at that point where she is ready to like
Right.
take a little bit of a step back and like get married as she just did, maybe start a family. So I'm almost wondering if she's like kind of preparing for that.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, because she did have one like those 2 crazy years, kind of like what Ella's going through
Yeah.
now. And it's like maybe that's enough. Maybe you do kind of just want to look at that and be like, that was like the top of the top. I got all these awards. I
Yeah.
sold out all these tours. And now she's kind of ready to slow down a little bit.
Mm.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
that makes sense. We're also seeing a couple veterans trying to make a comeback. Well, they never went away, but like I would say, like this year, trying to get back in the game a little bit more. Shania,
Mhm.
interesting. I think we both weren't huge fans of the first single that she dropped, but she's also touring with Harry Styles in London. Shania is always sort of out there doing things. Do you think people like where does Shania fit on people's sort of list of country queens?
I mean, Shania, I feel like arguably will still be, when you look historically, like number one,
Yeah.
like change the game for women in country music in the
Right.
90s. And obviously back then, like she was very much radio focused.
Mhm.
Never kind of abandoned her country roots. Whereas if you look at someone like a Taylor Swift, obviously Taylor started in country and
Yeah.
moved towards pop. Shania's definitely like bordered alongside that, but she never kind of, left the genre. She's always been there to open the doors for other women. And even her just hosting like the Academy of Country Music
Right.
Awards, like that's huge to still have
Mhm.
someone like her be very much involved in like the up and comers. But musically, yeah, I feel like nothing will top like 90s Shania.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
how
true.
can
That's
you?
true. Yeah.
And obviously the tours, I think too, she's toured a lot in the past 5 years. Like
Mhm.
this whole like Shania's coming back thing is she's
She's
been
been
back.
back. Yeah.
She's been touring now since I feel like even before COVID, she was
Mhm.
doing her kind of yearly thing. But I'm still gonna listen to anything she puts out. I'm
Right.
still gonna go to a Shania concert. I don't think we're sick of her in a way,
Mhm.
but I think she'll always kind of be there, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
She looks great, she
She does
sounds
look
great,
great. Yeah. Yeah.
so might as
Yeah.
well keep
Right.
going.
Right.
If you feel good,
Yeah, keep doing
why
it, right?
stop, right?
Right, yeah. What about Reba? She's dropped a few songs here or there this year. I think she has an EP coming out, if I'm right. I'm not sure 100% on that, but
Okay.
I do think she's gonna release an EP. I feel like this Reba has had a bit of a resurgence, like, the voice obviously has helped. Ho what are your thoughts on Reba? Like
I feel like Reba is obviously, like, still very traditional to her
mhm,
roots and will never kind of go out of that lane. Am I a huge Reba listener? No.
mm.
But, like, her classics still, every time they come on the radio, amazing.
Yeah,
But if I'm comparing her to, like, a Shania, I think I'm still drawn more to what Shania is doing than
okay,
Reba.
okay.
And maybe that's just because I grew up more with, like, the Shania
Yeah, yeah,
generation. And, like, I feel like a lot of fans know Reba more for, like, her TV show
right.
than their
That
music.
it
If
yeah,
you're speaking of, like, a person my age or a
yeah,
younger generation. Um, but I would say she's still, like, up there with Shania in terms of all-time
mm.
country queen.
Yeah. Let's move on to the up and comers. Two names I want to get your opinion on. First, Carter Faith. Maybe a lot of people might not know who she is, but I think she is on definitely on a trajectory to become a household name. Tell me a little bit
Mhm.
about Carter.
Yeah, I mean, I discovered Carter about a year ago with her song Bar Star, and immediately it was in a showcase. It was like a
Okay.
super small room, probably like 50 people in there. And as soon as she started singing, I was like, her voice, it just blows you away.
Hmm.
And then when you start listening to more of her music, you're like, oh my gosh, her lyrics. And it's very like she's very emotional and vulnerable, and you can hear that through the lyrics, but also her voice. Like it's
Yeah.
not every time you can hear the emotion through someone singing. But with Carter, she'll be in a room and we'll just have everyone captivated by her voice alone.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's like not rare, but it's to be known for just such a crisp voice like hers is definitely something different than a lot of artists, and
Hmm.
obviously her songwriting and then having both of those is just like, what more could you ask for?
Right. Do you think she?
And
Oh, sorry. Keep
that's
going.
okay. I was just gonna say, like, becoming a artist as new as she is and having her album nominated at the Academy of Country Music Awards is like insane.
Hmm. I feel you. You know, when you said like she's definitely has songwriting skills, but I feel like her songs maybe so far haven't really given us one that would be like almost radio friendly. Like there's been a couple. She does get played, obviously, but I don't feel like there's any that are going to cross over. Do you have the same
Mm,
feeling? And do you think she can write a song that will cross over? They'll give like a Carrie Underwood, sort of hit.
yeah, I mean, I hope so, but also I can't see her changing,
Mm,
like, her music
right.
and her sound, and I don't think she should,
No.
but I think it's also like time that radio would accept something like
Right.
this.
Right.
Or I think maybe if she does a collab to start with on radio, that could be a way for her to get more seen there.
Yeah.
And I know she's doing like a EDM collab. I think it
Mm.
was Diplo or something. So stuff like that is
Yeah.
also, I feel like, really smart for artists to jump into early on. But she's also kind of doing a bit of a gradual build, but also in a short period of time.
Right.
Like she's
Right.
only
Yeah.
I've only known her name for probably a year or two.
Yeah. Me too.
And I feel like her path resembles more like the traditional country. Like, yes, she's on social media, but she's not a Megan Maroney where I think she's gaining a huge fan base from social media, although I still think it's definitely helping her and helping her build a fan base. But it's just in a different way.
Right. Right. I think an artist people were sleeping on is Avery Anna. I've been
Yeah,
a big fan for a while.
obviously.
Yeah. What can you tell people about Avery Anna and why people should be listening to her?
I mean, yeah, vocals again. Like I've heard people in the industry, like other artists, talk about her voice, and it's just like one of a kind, like insane what she can do. And I feel like she's also a strong example of like the TikTok changing the country music game.
Right.
And I feel like she opened, like, she's still so young. And I remember I talked to her, I was like, how does someone this young even write such like emotive lyrics and stuff that just like punches you in the heart? And I feel like to see that maturity from an artist so young, it really shows their trajectory, as you mentioned. And then there's her collabs with Sam Barber, which alone are like some of her biggest songs to this day. And people are now really connecting with those two as like a package deal. But on her own, she's amazing. Like she won new female artist at the ACMs. And her performance there, I feel like, was a big moment for her. I think that was one of her first major award show performance.
Do you remember what she said to you?
Really fun. Pardon?
Do you remember what she said to you when you asked her that about writing with such emotion at such a young age?
I think it was, I'm trying to remember now, but she was kind of just talking about, you know, her upbringing and even like she grew up in Arizona, which is not traditionally like, it's not a place that you would expect singer-songwriter to be from, I feel like. But no, I can't remember. So
okay.
I think don't look, but like, I don't want to just make something up.
Yeah. We to throw in sort of a wrench here of 2026 and what could change because there's still 6 more months left. Is Miranda going to release something? I feel like, you know, she did the collab with Casey, ending their sort of feud that they had. But I feel like, you know, I wouldn't put it past Miranda to drop something this year to make things even more complicated for 2026.
Yeah. And I feel like she's been doing, like, being a songwriter on Choosing Texas as well. Like, it seems like she's been doing a lot more songwriting than like cutting her own music. But I wouldn't be surprised, although I'm trying to see like what angle she'll go now. Like she's already done like the divorce stuff. Like that's old news, obviously. But even after that, she was like her last album, but that was still like several years ago. I mean, I would love her to.
Yeah.
But I'm also wondering too if she's like kind of in a place now where she's comfortable doing what she's doing.
Right. Transferring to more songwriting stuff than and saving all the puppies.
But I couldn't see her like announcing a big tour in the next few months.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone we're missing? Is there anyone else on your radar?
I mean, there's also Kelsey Ballerini, who I feel like we didn't really touch on, and she's definitely going through a transition as well because, you know, her divorce album was such a success, her tour. And now I feel like she's also in that state where she's like, where do I want to go next with my music? Because her last album was about a divorce that did so well, and then she's going through another breakup. So it's like, do you now sing about a new breakup or do you go in another direction? But she's someone who I could see like in the next 6 months announce like a new album.
Okay. Cool.
Anyone else in terms of who we're missing? Like, let me my playlist.
And then the chicks are on tour as well too, which you know. Oh, I lost your audio. There we go.
It's because it like, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, it's because it does this weird thing where it connects to my phone,
Mhm.
and then I open my phone, and I think it switched to my phone.
Ah.
Someone like brand new who I'm just discovering, and not like super country, but definitely in that more like singer-songwriter, Stella Lefty
Boston is a great
at
song.
Boston, and I Know is her other song, and now she's dating Vincent Mason. So it seems like those two are gonna both like have a huge year.
Mhm. Cool. Have to keep an
Yeah,
eye on
she's
that.
another person to be on your radar. I'm trying to think if there's any other Canadian artists specifically.
Like for me, like and she's still very up and coming, but I think Jade Hilton is gonna blow up.
Mm.
Like I
Yeah,
every song she's put out has been great. She just hasn't been able to get the get the press that I think she needs. Like she's done some press, but I just don't think she's got that marketing behind her yet. And when she does, I think she will be a big star.
yeah. No, I've listened to a few of her stuff. It's really
Mhm.
good. And
Mhm.
also, Robin Ottolini has put
Yeah.
out a few new songs, and which is really cool because I like if you remember her breakout F-150 was so big, and it's nice to see her now following up with some really good music.
Yeah. Cool.
What goes on your playlist?
All right. Well, thank you very much, Katie.
Thanks for having me. Who did we
Anytime.
crown the country queen?
I think we're in 2026 is gonna it's gotta be Ella.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone can stop her at this moment, but who
I'm
knows?
excited
Yeah. Megan was, asked me 2 months ago, I would say Megan, but and
for
really,
sure. And that's how
yeah.
like quickly it can change
Mhm.
is wild.
Yeah.
But I agree right now. It's gonna be Ella.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.